Hi everyone, this is Light487. Haven't done a review for a while because quite simply I found basically everything I want in vaping, and there was nothing really new to sort of report on. But recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I actually picked up a new personal vaporizer or electronic cigarette or whatever you want to call them now. It's a gold version of the screwdriver Mark 1. Now, as you've probably seen from my other videos, I used to have I still do have a screwdriver Mark 2. Okay, so that was the first big sort of battery mod that I got. But with the SD Mark II, the native connection is for a 901 atomizer, and I've come to just like the 510 atomizers. So that's the 510. So it's got like a male connection, whereas the 901 has a female connection. So obviously they're incompatible. You can get adapters and so forth, but I wanted something that was just native 510. Now, obviously with the screwdriver Mark 1s, you can actually get a 901 connection or a 510 connection. I think you can even get the 801 connection, the other one anyway, the big one. So the big one looks like that, basically, like it's a big, much larger sort of connection. So I believe you can get that one as well. This one, it's obviously a gold color. You can get them in black and you can get silver, etc. I went with the gold because I wanted something bit different, simply put, a bit different. And as you can see, I use colored atomizers now, whereas before, I'm not sure if I've got one down here. Oh, that's a 901 atomizer. As you can see, it's got a female end on it. In the past, I've used titanium coloured ones and generally black coloured atomizers. Anyway, so essentially, I've been using the battery that's in this SD Mark 1 for a little bit over a day, or maybe a day. And as you can see, it's still working quite fine. So that's the number one thing about these big battery mods, is that they last a long time. So whether it's the screwdriver Mark II or the screwdriver Mark 1 or any of the other ones that are available, that's basically the whole point of them, is so that you can have this electronic cigarette that you don't have to keep changing the batteries every 2 or 3 hours. So just an example, this is the sort of the original one I had. So that's the battery, and when you press it, the blue light comes on. That activates the battery. I'm not sure if there's any sort of charge in that or not, but even with the Mega, it's still shorter. Yeah, so it's still obviously working. But the point is, though, that this small battery, as you can see, it's quite skinny, and it's got, obviously this part of it's got the LED in it, and then it's got a switch and then a connection. So the actual battery itself, it's only a very small, skinny battery. I believe, I'm not 100%, but I believe they're sort of rated at about 130 or 180 milliamp hours, I should say. Now, the batteries that go in the SD Mark 1 are different to the batteries that go in the Mark 2, but they're essentially around about the same size. I don't have a Mark, actually I do. I've got the Mark 2 battery there, that's the protected version. It's a lot heavier. Essentially they're almost identical in size, but the Mark 2 battery is a bit thicker. But essentially this is a 3.7 volt 900 milliamp hours, and this blue one is 3.6 volt 1000 milliamp. So it's almost exactly the same. but as I say, 3.6 volt instead of 3.7 volts. So maybe the SD Mark II does kick out a bit more. And it essentially goes in here the same way as the Mark II. Okay, I actually find this little spring thing a lot more durable than the Mark II. Don't ask me why, it just seems more durable. And then in here you can see there's a little black grommet in there at the bottom. That the actual battery sits on there, so it doesn't actually make a connection while it's sitting in there. The other thing is, you can see here it's got like another black rubber grommet that runs around here, and actually, I mean, it doesn't really need to have an airtight seal, I guess. It just means that, you know, you're not going to get any sort of rainwater in there or anything like that. It just feels nice when you close it. It's nice and solid. I actually prefer this one over the Mark II, simply because this button actually, it takes a little bit more force to push it in. Not a great deal. I mean, it's still easy to do with your finger. But if you basically rested both of them on the table like that, this one will stand there, you know, under its own weight, without being depressed in. Whereas the Mark II, it'll activate. You know, like as soon as you sort of like, the actual weight of the device will activate the switch. Basically, what this means is that if you put this in your pocket, chances are it's not going to activate. I mean, it still might, but chances are it's not going to activate. Whereas with the Mark II, you know, it's very easy, much easier to activate that switch. So I actually prefer this one simply because of that button. You know, like, I mean, sure, it's got the 510 connection, but as I say, I got an adapter for the SD Mark II. But it really comes down to this battery, and that's why I use this instead of the Mark II now. But as you see, you know, like actual, I've just taken this other battery off charge. So you saw how much vapor the one that has been being used for about a day was pumping out. And we'll just put this on. So basically the same amount. So essentially, it does feel a little bit, I guess, more of a kick, simply because obviously it's at the higher end of the 3.6 volt scale or whatever. But you know, it goes for the whole day, and it really takes, you know, a good 24 hours or, you know, 36 hours before you notice that it's starting to, you know, fall off a lot. So yeah, so I don't know, like the SD Mark II, it does exactly the same thing as the Mark I. It's just a little bit different. As I say, that, you know, the battery is slightly different, the button's slightly different. It's got a different build quality than the other one, like with the grommets and stuff like that. You know, I prefer the SD Mark I, but the SD Mark II is certainly an adequate e-cigarette. So anyway, this is basically what I've been using for since I got it, basically the last 3 weeks or so. When I bought this, it came with 2 standard 510 atomizers, 2 of the batteries, a battery charger, and it actually came with 2 bodies, because at the time, I'm not sure how long this deal's going for, but at the time when you bought a basic kit or a body or whatever, you got another one for free. So I actually got a black one and this gold one. So, but as you can see, the gold with the green goes really well. I've got some red atomizers on order. I should get them this week sometime. So that'll go well with the gold as well. Anyway, I just want to sort of give you a quick update and say, hey, yes, I'm still vaping, but generally, you know, unless I find something brand new to sort of review, I'm not going to make a video. I do have some flavors I might want to go through. some new flavors, but I'll wait until I get my new atomizers and I've got more of those flavors to vape on. Thanks.